Okay, this is geometry section 10.1, and this section is on the Pythagorean theorem. So C88 tells us that in a right triangle, the sum of the squares of the lengths of the legs equals the square of the length of the hypotenuse. What does that mean? Well, here's a right triangle, and remember that the two sides that make up the right angle are called the legs. The longest side is called the hypotenuse. And if you square this leg and you add the square of this leg, it equals the square of the hypotenuse. A and B are legs, C is the hypotenuse. And remember, this is a theorem because it's been proven. C89 is the converse of the Pythagorean theorem, conjecture, theorem, that says if the lengths of the three sides of a triangle satisfy that Pythagorean equation, then the triangle is a right triangle. So let's look at some examples. Here's a word problem. How high up on a wall? I should have made my diagram a little bigger. Sorry about that. How high up on a wall will a 20-foot ladder touch if the foot of the ladder is placed 5 feet from the wall? Let's make this a little bigger so you can see it. So here's the wall. The ladder sits out 5 feet. I don't know what that is. And the length of the ladder is 20 feet. So notice that we have measurements for one of the legs and the hypotenuse. So here's the Pythagorean theorem equation. So I had to have 5 squared plus b squared equals 20 squared, which gives us 25 plus b squared equals 400. Divide by 25, I get b squared equals 375. Take the square root of that, and it's around 19.4 feet. Here's another example. Is the following a right triangle? So if it is a right triangle, then this squared plus this squared equals this squared. So let's see if it does. 12 squared plus 18 squared, does it equal 22 squared? Well, 12 squared plus 18 squared is 468, and that does not equal 22 squared. So no, that is not a right triangle. And I think we'll just go right into 10.2. This one is on special right triangles. They have some special relationships amongst the legs and the hypotenuse. So the first one is an isosceles, also known as a 45, 45, 90. C90 tells us that in an isosceles right triangle, if the legs have length x, then the hypotenuse, spelled that wrong, has length x square roots of 2. So you want to make sure that this is in your notes. And C91 is dealing with the 30, 60, 90 right triangle. If the shorter leg has length x, then the longer leg has length x square roots of 3, and the hypotenuse has length 2x. This should be an x, not an a. So notice the shorter side is across from the 30-degree angle, or the shorter leg. The longer leg is across from the 60-degree. All right, let's do some examples. So let's look at example number 2 from your worksheets. And you need to find A and B. So remember that the longer leg from what we just covered, this is 12 square roots of 3 really equals x square roots of 3 if you copy that diagram that I just showed you. So that must mean that x is 12. In this case, x is going to be a. So I know that a is 12. And remember that the hypotenuse in a 30, 60, 90 is twice whatever the shortest leg is. So twice that would be 24. And let's do number 8. This one's probably the hardest problem on the page, and this is the one I'll do in class also. So it says find the coordinates of C. This red line is not on the original problem, but since we're dealing with right triangles, I thought I'd make a right triangle right here. And then notice that if this is 120 degrees, that means that this right here is 30, right? Because 120 minus 90, I know that this is a 90-degree angle, leaves 30. And if this is 30, this is 60, because 30 plus 60 equals 90 degrees. So this must be 30. And notice also what the radius of this circle is. The radius is 1. And so that means that this hypotenuse is 1. So let's recreate that triangle that's right here and put in what we know. I know that this is 60, this is 30, this is 1. And remember that the hypotenuse on a 30, 60, 90 right triangle is twice the length of the shortest leg. Well, this is the shortest leg because it's across from the smallest angle. So if this is twice what this is, I know that this is 1/2. And if this is 1/2, then this one is 1/2 square roots of 3. And the longer leg is x square roots of 3. So 1/2 square roots of 3, which would be written as square root of 3 over 2. Just a little more concise. So if this is 1/2, that means that this point right here is 1/2 0. This point right here, the x value would be 1/2. And the height of this, remember, is the square root of 3 over 2. And that's how you would just write the y coordinate. So the coordinates for this is 1/2, 3, or the square root of 3 over 2. That's it, I think, for 10.2.